is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
So it's pretty big news week this week. You can tell that we're back into the swing of things in terms of video games, because we actually have a full docket. So full, in fact, that we could not do the post office this week.
Yeah. This is good. I mean, it's good for us, but it's bad for you people who want to, who feel the need to voice your opinions when we ask for them.
I'm laughing because I'm looking at the docket, and I see that you put that you're playing Marvel's Avengers on the docket, and I'm only laughing not because you're playing Marvel's Avengers. I'm laughing because at maximum, you played what, an hour of this?
Yeah. They've had.
You got off work and then you did this, and then you're recording the podcast now.
Yeah, they. Well, I'm working from home, and I tend to work during the day, and then while my wife watches our son, and then we switch, right? So I got about 3 hours into it because I didn't really do any work today. Like, whatever, my stuff isn't due until later this week. So, like the procrastinator that I am, I'm just gonna wait till Thursday. So I got about 3 hours in, and it's not bad. It isn't. This is not a game for you. Like, this is like if they designed a game specifically to not be for you, this is it.
In what way though? In what way? Because you know I like my looters, Micah. You know I'm a fan of looters.
Subject matter. Strike one, right?
Yes.
It's a very grindy game, but I don't think you really mind a grindy game.
As long as the rewards are worth chasing.
Right now, the rewards are not worth chasing. And it's a game that is, I see how they were having difficulty trying to classify this game without citing other games, because it's kind of difficult to do, right? Like, yeah, it's a looter, but like it's a half-ass looter, right? Like the loot it felt like they had a vision for what the game should be, and then someone told them, you need to add this feature in it so that we could try to keep people on the hook to grind, to keep them playing this one game. We need to make this a platform for people to play games on, for us to generate money.
It's funny because I look at now I obviously haven't played the game, so I'm not, it's not fair that I'm casting this dispersion, but just from a wide view, when I look at the looting system for Marvel's Avengers, I'm reminded very distinctly of the looting system in Injustice 2. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, kinda. I think that's actually pretty good. Another game that has a weird loot type system is another NetherRealm game. It's Mortal Kombat 11.
Right, which I'm assuming they probably just took a lot of those same principles from Injustice 2 and just imported it onto Mortal.
Right, and instead of just making it gear, they make it augments, right? And that is the worst part of those games. And it's kind of the same with this. Like, I'm over the fact that you don't see different gear pieces on your character, right? I'm over it, right? But it feels like there is there's artificial difficulty in the way the game is structured, that you have to use this gear system in order to combat it. And it just feels kind of half-assed, right? Like, I think there could have been something there. It just feels kind of half-assed. But the way people play, they all play similar but different. They are pretty distinct. the presentation is up to snuff, right? Like it feels like a big budget, AAA title, right?
Disappointing.
Um,
AAA.
AAA. Um, yeah. Speaking of him, like yes, there's monetization. I don't really.
Oh, I'm to the point with Jim Sterling that if he's making a video about monetization, I just have to. I have to move fast. Like he's never going to accept it in any game ever. So I'm
right now. It is what it is, man. Like I can withhold not buying these things, especially because some of the outfits of some of the skins cost upwards of $14.
It seems
that's a little steep.
I mean, it's not quite the $71 weapon skin in Apex Legends, but it seems a little extreme.
Yeah, man. Like it's it's that whole 100 points is $1 and 1,400 points is one of these skins, and I'm like, nah, yo.
Would you rather have like 10% of your player base buy the $14 skin, or would you rather price the skin so that like 70% of your player base buys all the skins and gives you like $20? That's what I don't understand. Like are the whales really worth like spearing and harpooning that we can't just make things a reasonable price point across the board?
I think the answer to that question is there are a lot more whales than we think there are.
That's a damn shame. not to try to take Terrence's bit, but that's a damn shame.
Speaking of which, he was playing this game before I came on also. Today, like literally 15 minutes before we started, I saw him play.
Wait until he's back next week. Oh my god, I can't get the rag of that. I mean, he did pull a 180 on his opinions from one beta weekend to the next beta weekend. So I shouldn't be that surprised that he picked it up. But
it's not a bad game. I'm playing single player. The story is keeping me on.
I heard the story is good. Like that's the buzz around the games journalism industry right now, is that the story is actually pretty engaging so far.
The story is pretty engaging. If they keep to their word and release characters at no additional cost with story content, I will be impressed.
Okay. So here's a question I want you to keep in the back of your mind for next week's show. If the game only contained the story, because I'd imagine by the time we get to next week's show, you'll have beaten the campaign. Yeah. If the game only had the campaign in it and nothing else, but you can still play as the different heroes and whatnot, would it be worth $60? That's a question I'd like you to be able to answer on the show next week.
All right. All right. I can do that.
So like I said, we'll wait and see. Terrence will be back as well to give his thoughts on it as well. I didn't play anything new. I did start a new game of Dragon Age Inquisition, and I realized that I only did this because I'm really jonesing for an action RPG right now, and Kingdoms of Amalur is still a week away. So I'll probably get my fix in when Kingdoms comes out. But I did start a new Dragon Age Inquisition save. I gotta say, pretty impressed. Game holds up really well.
Yeah.
For a game that's 6 years old.
A lot of it has to do with that art style.
Yes.
Like it doesn't look old, right? Like,
it doesn't look old. It's very like BioWare games have just a certain feel to them that always feels contemporary. But like I contrast that with when I started a play of The Witcher 3. And The Witcher 3 is very much a game that shows its age, even from 5 years ago. But I don't feel like Dragon Age is the same way. Will I continue playing this save file? I don't know. Like I said, I think when Kingdoms comes out, that's gonna give me what I am seeking as far as like trying to get this RPG. Because I'm not gonna beat it in a week, obviously. Like I don't have that kind of time.
Right.
to sit there and grind it out. But again, great game. Didn't spend 4 hours in whatever the first area is. I can't remember.
Oh, that big like green, like the Highlands of the
because nobody knew to exit the area and when you fulfilled your main quest objectives. The hinterlands. That's right.
The hinterlands.
That was the meme. But yeah, so looking forward to that. I don't think I'll have played Kingdoms by the time we sit down to record, because I think it comes out on Tuesday. So in 2 weeks I'll have some thoughts on that. But it's looking good. They made some quality of life improvements that they've been talking about, which is something to look forward to.
I might give that game another shot. I didn't for some reason I didn't take to it. I think something else had came out around that time. But
yeah, well, I've talked about this on the show before. It came out literally 1 month before Mass Effect 3 did.
Oh, well, yeah. All right.
Fucked everything. Fucked it all up. It is a new month. We are in September, which is insane to me. Yeah. So we have new free games that you can get on your game console. So we'll start with Xbox. First of all, I just have to say I love their commitment to showing ridiculous Xbox value. So like on the advertisement that Microsoft puts out for this, it's boasting that you get $79.96 in value. I feel like you could have just rounded that to $80. And 3,000 gamer score, Micah. 3,000 gamer score awaits you in these titles. So for the entire month of September, you can get Tom Clancy's The Division for free. Now, I know many of you were probably waiting for me to say 2 at the end of that title, which would probably make a lot more sense considering that game's been out for 18 months now. But no, it's Division 1. A curious inclusion on the list. I don't know how many people are still playing Division 1 like that with Division 2. Probably about the same amount of people that are still playing Destiny 1. Not many. And then from September 16th through October 15th, you can get the Book of Unwritten Tales 2. For Xbox 360, for the first half of the month, you can get The Blob 2. And then for the second half of the month, you can get the original Xbox game Armed and Dangerous for free. And of course, both of these are playable on Xbox One as well.
So they're still doing this bi-monthly thing. Like, why not just make everything available for the whole month?
Micah, that would make far too much sense, and therefore it cannot be done.
I mean, is it to make people log in?
Maybe. I mean, does it really benefit you like that to have people log in twice? You know what I mean? Like, it's not that.
Like they're playing it anyway, right? So, all
right. PlayStation coming out swinging out of the gates for this month. Two major offerings for them. The first, a little game called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, PUBG, available for free. I guess the player base in PUBG is lagging behind some of the other Battle Royale offerings, so they want to get it out there and get it in people's hands. Makes sense to me. Great marketing. And then secondly, Street Fighter V, available for free on PlayStation 4. Now, of course, this is the original version of Street Fighter V. It's not the most recent Champions Edition update, but a great appetizer to see if you would like the game. And then if you want to upgrade to the Champions Edition, it's only $25.
Yeah. There's literally no excuse to not at least try this game. And it's come a long way.
It really has. We ragged on it a lot when it first came out, but they've steadily been making improvements, of course, adding characters, modes, fine-tuning the balances as they do. It's quite a great product at this point. If only it didn't have to stumble out of the gate the way that it did.
Yeah.
We'd be a lot better off. And then new releases this week. There's really only 2 games to talk about. We talked about one of them, Marvel's Avengers, coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Also, much like Madden completely snuck up on me last episode, NBA 2K21 comes out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on Friday this week.
You know what that means?
What's that?
Get ready for the start of the NBA season.
The other one hasn't even finished yet. We're still in 2020, the 2019-2020 NBA season.
Hey, I guess they still gotta make money. So what, like, is the NBA gonna just like how are they gonna make up for the fact? Like, they should have just canceled it, yo. They should have just canceled it.
So I know. So I can only speak from the NHL's what their plan is, but I'd imagine that basketball is going to be similar. So I know the NHL wants to start their 2020 season in the beginning of December. The NBA will probably be able to get a couple weeks lead time on them. And the benefit actually is with the NBA is that they can play back-to-backs right now in the playoffs like it's not a big deal because you don't have to account for travel. Everyone's in Orlando. So they can get their stuff compacted, whereas hockey, you don't want to have those guys skating on back-to-backs frequently because it's a little bit more tiring, I guess, than, you can recover a little bit faster with the NBA. So if I had to guess, I'm assuming the new NBA season is going to start in November. Now, I don't know if they're just going to condense the regular season into a 5-month period instead of a 6-month period before the playoff starts, or if the next season's playoffs is just going to run a little later and then they'll start the 2021 season on time. I don't think they've announced that yet, or maybe they have, but I don't follow the NBA like that.
Yeah.
But the virtual game coming soon. Unfortunately, you have to wait until the PS5 and Xbox One come out to get super sweaty Zion Williamson, as we saw during the PlayStation Days of Play event. But,
yes, the NBA 2K21 disgusting edition. Just sweat just everywhere. There's one more game coming out, or two games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 come out this Friday.
Oh, Giant Bomb, you let me down. Isn't that one game? Aren't they both on the same?
Yeah, it's one game. So
a lot of people are really excited about that.
They can tell me why, because nostalgia is a hell of a drug, man. That is a game. That's a Game Pass game, man. That's a Game Pass game if I've ever heard of one. And I can't. Yeah, I'll wait.
I could agree.
Go to youtube.com/densepixels. Click the notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Go to listen to the.
You get he still can't even.
I know. I still can't do it. All I have to do is literally just read the screen that's in front of my face. Subscribe to all the TMP Studios podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, including the Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema, Coming Distractions, and the weekly preview episode of Look Forward. If you like what you hear, you can go to densepixels.com/premium, and for $5 a month, $50 a year, you get access to the premium slate of podcasts, including the airing of grievances, No Time to Bleed, The Men with the Golden Tongues, Upstage Conversation, and the full episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Now, look.
I know. Have you listened this week yet?
I know. Oh, yes. I say this every week, right? Like, you got to really listen to this podcast. It is quickly becoming one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, which is weird because I'm not on it. And, generally the podcasts that I'm not on are of lesser quality. But this episode was hysterical.
There's some real quality hour 2 content.
Oh,
this week. That's all I can say.
Yeah, without getting too vulgar. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Densepixels.com/premium is how you get that.
Very good. Yes, and there's a bonus episode that we did, me, you, Andy, and Jay, talking about the what's been happening in Kenosha for the past week, Kenosha, Wisconsin, with the shooting of Jacob Blake and then the murder of 2 protesters out there. Kind of a Black on Black Cinema Look Forward crossover podcast. That's in the free feed as well on both the Black on Black Cinema feeds and the Look Forward free feed if you guys want to check that out. I highly, highly recommend it. It starts as a more serious conversation, but of course, we're us, so to some laughs as well. Fall Guys, the sensation heard around the world that just came off of PlayStation Plus for free, is the most downloaded PlayStation Plus game of all time which is a pretty impressive feat considering that there's been a couple other pretty popular titles like Grand Theft Auto 5 that have been on PlayStation Plus. Rocket League was on PlayStation Plus. So there's definitely been some big hitters. It's also sold 7 million copies on Steam so far, which is really impressive. Again, we've talked about on the show a bunch. Fall Guys is fucking great. It's a fantastic game. I didn't stream this, but I played with my wife the other night. Got a W while she was there with me. So good luck charm.
Oh,
so, very
awesome.
fun. And they're also doing some pretty good charity work as well. They raised $1 million, the Fall Guys developers did, by pitting brands against one another in a bidding war to get their skin design in the game. And all the proceeds went to video game charity Special Effect. Mike, I don't know if you saw this, but there were brands have been like throwing their shit at Fall Guys, trying to get Fall Guys to put their stuff on skins within the game.
I remember seeing someone do a mock-up of a Fall Guy in a Walmart vest. I was like, wow, this is, I mean, they are, talk about capitalizing on the zeitgeist, man.
Yeah. So the winning bid was a combination bid from Ninja, Mr. Beast, G2 Esports, and AIM Lab. All of them will get their own costume design in the game for donating, again, a total of $1 million, which is just an insane amount of money. But then again, Ninja has money to burn, considering he got all that mixer money.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I mean,
but like Warframe submitted one. The Hello Tushy folks, the bidet company, submitted one. That's a T-shirt that said "Ask me about my butthole." Pretty funny. I have a Hello Tushy, by the way. I don't know how I've lived without a bidet in my entire life, but pretty amazing. And so that's pretty great. Special Effect, for those who don't know, is a video game charity that's dedicated to making video games accessible to folks with physical disabilities. They help create like custom controls and controllers for disabled folks that want to play games as well. So that's really great. That's really fucking awesome. I like seeing a company using their newfound, power and sway to help out where they can.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I love helping. I love seeing the video game community come together, because video games, it's all, people only focus on the bad, like the outside. People who aren't into this, they only focus on the bad things that happen, or the video games are always a scapegoat for why people do bad things like murder people. But nah, like this is something that needs to have a light shown on it, and I'm very happy for this charity.
So we've been talking the past couple weeks about how AT&T is looking to offload WB Games for a very lucrative sum. Well, apparently they have reversed course, and they have decided that the sale is no longer happening. They've decided to change their mind, and this is coming from Bloomberg News, aka Jason Schreier, that given the business growth potential, it would not be a wise idea to sell it at this time. I'm sure helped out by the very positive reaction that came from the DC fandom experience that showed off the 2 new WB games that are coming in the DC universe, in addition to the inevitable Injustice 3 and Lego games. We're going to talk a little bit about that later on as well. So
it is 100% because of that.
Yeah,
it is. That's the only thing that people were talking about from that fandom that was universally positive, were those 2 games.
So we'll see what happens there. Nintendo, without any warning, released a mini Nintendo Direct, the partner showcase, as they called it. I gotta be honest, there wasn't anything crazy or wildly important that was announced during this. There's a new Kingdom Hearts rhythm game that I think Carrie's talked about before, called Melody of Memory, that they showed a new trailer for. That's coming. There's a game called Fuser that's also releasing on Xbox that is going to be releasing on Switch as well. World Tanks Blitz is coming to Switch. There's a new Creed boxing game coming to Nintendo Switch called Big Rumble Boxing. What else we got here? We got the Final Fantasy Legend Saga Collection coming out. That's going to have Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 on it that were originally on Game Boy. They announced Just Dance 2021, the series that will not die. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, a game that I was a little let down by. As Puyo Puyo Tetris 1 was a Switch launch title. It didn't stick with me very long, but they're getting a sequel to that as well, and a few other small games too. But nothing crazy, nothing to blow your socks off, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's why they just kind of threw it out there, like, hey, this stuff is coming for all you diehards. Yeah, all right. I mean, no harm, no foul. Another Kingdom Hearts game, another one is coming out. But
this one's at least like a spin-off. It's not a real Kingdom Hearts like mainline story game.
Oh, I'm 2 through with all of them.
Dude, I was 2 through back in 2002. Love when you rhyme accidentally. So the big reveal last week was Call of Duty: Black Ops: Cold War was finally revealed to the world. They did a little bit of viral marketing for this game. They had some stuff in Warzone to kind of tease the trailer that players got to do, and then they revealed the new trailer that sheds a little bit of light on the story. There's digital Ronald Reagan in this game, who is, I'm sure, just the biggest piece of shit as actual Ronald Reagan. He basically encourages you to commit war crimes in the game, which is very on brand.
I'm very curious to see how Reagan will be portrayed in this. Like, I mean, given what we've seen already, it's like, oh, okay, because people lionize Reagan. Certain people like lionize Reagan, right? And
people that don't read history books.
Right. Like, it just doesn't. Nah. Like, he was just a charismatic guy who he was famous. He was famous for not being a politician and just.
I thought we were talking about Ronald Reagan. Oh.
Weird. Oh, the more things change,
the
more they are the same. God damn it.
So, here's a bit of cool Call of Duty news. I suppose I should ask you: if you watched the trailer, are you stoked about this, or is your level of Call of Duty hype at its normal levels, which is non-existent, really?
It is what it is, man. I can't remember the last time I bought a Call of Duty. Like, I'll play a Call of Duty, but like putting my money down to actually like buy one, nah. Because the stories aren't the Call of Duty stories aren't that great, and you really don't play that game for the story, even though this is all they're kind of showing you. People who love Call of Duty don't play it for the story, and then people who play it for the story, like me, I'm not terribly impressed, and the way the stories are always like fractured, it just I'm kind of over it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more inclined to be interested in this Call of Duty game than any other one in recent memory. They didn't really show a true gameplay reveal. I think that's what I'd be more waiting to see, because what they did show just makes it look like more of the same. Like, it's just Call of Duty, just in a different setting.
Right. And I'm more inclined to just kind of watch someone play the story, or watch someone upload the story clips, all together, and just get the story that way, because I'm good.
One bit of news that I find cool and interesting is that they revealed that that Call of Duty: Black Ops: Cold War and Call of Duty: Warzone will share battle pass progression between one another. So if you play both games, you don't have to pick and choose. Every experience that you gain in multiplayer in one will translate over to the other, and vice versa, which I think is an incredibly smart idea to do, to not force cannibalization of your own product, essentially, and incentivize people to play both, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So pretty dope. I would imagine that, you know, experience that you earn in one game will unlock rewards for the other game as well when you log back in, that kind of jazz. So, like I said,
would hope so.
Yeah, this is very smart. And if you're going to have a dual ecosystem, I would actually like to see this from other games in the same publishing house. I think would be interesting. Like if EA could somehow do this with, like, you know, not that they're making another Star Wars Battlefront game, but if they could do it, I guess Squadrons will probably have something similar. What if they did this with like Squadrons and Battlefield combined together? I think would make for an interesting crossover.
Yeah, that actually,
or Apex and Battlefield.
Yeah, there you go. Like, because you're doing the same thing, right? Like, it's just with a different skin on it. So that'd be cool.
Or actually, you know what? The biggest slam dunk, if they ever do come out with the Titanfall 3, that with Apex would be. I had to think automatically.
Yeah.
Now,
that is something really smart, Brad. I wonder if they're going to keep on doing very smart things.
Well, Micah, don't hold your breath, because they've decided to, instead of continuing to do very smart things, have easily the most confusing upgrade path for Call of Duty: Black Ops: Cold War that any game has ever had in history. It's as if they looked at what EA was attempting to do with Madden, and EA is like, we have the most convoluted upgrade path for our video games. And Bobby Kotick strolled in and said, hold my executive bonus. And he decided to completely fuck shit up left and right. So there's multiple editions, of course, because it's Call of Duty. That's what we have to do. So if you buy the standard edition, it's $60. And that'll get you a copy of the game for PS4 or Xbox One. So there's also the cross-gen edition. Here's where things get dumb. Okay? So if you buy the cross-gen edition for PlayStation 4, that will get you a PlayStation 4 standard copy, and then when PS5 comes out, you can upgrade to the PS5 copy at no additional cost. However, if you buy the cross-gen edition for Xbox, it's only going to be available as an Xbox Series X game, but that also gets you the Xbox One version of the game as well. I'm assuming it's going to be sold in the Microsoft Store as just a regular game, but the way they announced it makes it sound really stupid. But if you buy the Ultimate Edition, which has all the other bullshit and stuff in it, then you get an upgraded version of the game no matter which system. This is really dumb.
Yeah, I think it's I think they've done this and they've worded it this way so that at the end of it they can just say, well, as long as you buy the Ultimate Edition, you're golden.
I'm sure that is exactly why. Now, we talked last week about the fact that they're going to have a separate cross-gen edition. The cross-gen edition is going to cost $70. Now, that's probably the best price point they could have done for this. As we know, NBA 2K21 on PS5 and Xbox Series X is going to cost $70 anyway. So that's kind of in line with that. But what do you think about the $10 upcharge to get the upgrade for the next-gen consoles?
In terms of, like, just in general?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it was bound to happen, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there's no use complaining about it. I mean, you can complain. I don't want to say you can't complain. You can complain. Mm. But, you know, I remember when games were way cheaper and then way more expensive and then kind of leveled out to $50 and $60. Mm-hmm. And I'll never understand complaining about a price increase like this, right? Like, especially when, you know, if you get like special editions and stuff, I don't know. It just I've been waiting for it to happen for a while. So and I know how the world works. Like, I know that sounds like dismissive, but like, I get it.
I'm of two minds. Like, part of me is annoyed because there's some companies that are surcharging and some companies that aren't. At the same time, I'm relieved that the entire industry didn't like collude together to get to $69.99 as far as the price point goes for these next gen games.
Not yet.
So yeah, so that's a plus. Now, what hasn't been said is if you just, so let's say you don't buy the game for PS4 or Xbox One and you just buy the PS5 or Xbox Series X version, is that going to be $70 or is that only going to be $60? That has not been announced yet, so we don't know. So we'll have to wait and see.
It'll be 70
when that comes out. I would assume that would be correct as well.
Yeah.
Activision, lastly in the news, cowing a Call of Duty Warzone cheat maker, forcing the cheat maker to apologize, pull its wares from the community, and basically look like a bitch. So cxcheat.net was a site you go to pay up to $60 for Call of Duty Warzone cheats, that it had to remove all of its Call of Duty products or services sold through the site, per an agreement with Activision. So apparently, I would assume that Activision threatened legal action. one would assume that that's probably what happened, and the developers warned people that, hey, if you buy these, your account might get banned. So you might not want to fucking do that.
Yeah, this is wild, man.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, if you run these kind of websites, is it just a smash and grab? Like, do you know that you're going to get shut down eventually? So is it just fucking get while the getting's good, and then get out as soon as possible with as little damage as possible?
Well, I would have to think so, right? Like, if the name of your website has cheat in the name of it, right? Like, you're not doing something that you're supposed to be doing, right? Like, it's I'm inclined to agree with you, right? Like, it's like, hey, let's just see what we can do, and let's see how we can, and let's see, how long we can get away with it. And I don't know.
And of course, the shit is only happening on PC. So
yeah, because master race.
Yep. The never-ending saga between Epic Games and Apple continues. Epic Games sent a email out to their customers on iOS saying that Apple was blocking Fortnite updates from occurring, which is like, it's true, but not in the context in which they're framing it. Like, they're blocking the updates because they're not letting you add updates to the store. And yes, you're developing those updates, but your game's not in the store, so why the fuck would they allow you to update? Yeah. But like I said, I can appreciate the game. Game recognizes game, and I can appreciate that shit for sure.
This is the equivalent of like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or something to me, right? Like, it's just a bunch of just wealthy people, right? Just wealthy people having the most petty disagreements and just undercutting each other for the sake of doing it. And it is hilarious.
Well, not to be outdone, Apple retaliated by terminating Epic Games' developer account on iOS. Now, this doesn't stop them from having access to development tools, as of course the judge last week in the injunction that was filed ruled that Epic could still have access to development tools, but they no longer have a developer account on the Apple App Store, and all of their other products besides Fortnite have also been removed from the Apple App Store in the meantime, pending this litigation.
Oh man,
fantastic!
It's wonderful. I love it.
And then of course, Tim Sweeney, CEO of Epic Games, hits back by saying that Apple's statement isn't forthright. They chose to terminate Epic's account. They didn't have to. Apple suggests that we spammed the App Store review process. That isn't so. Epic submitted 3 Fortnite builds, 2 bug fix updates, and the Season 4 update, and they decided to terminate our account anyway.
Never mind the fact that we chose to circumvent Apple's. Like, come on, y'all! What are you doing? Come on, man.
And again, it should not be lost that the people that are suffering are the players. It's not. It's a little unfair that they're caught in this, rich person crossfire.
I mean, this is
I hope something good comes of it at the end of the day.
Like, this is just a microcosm of an example of just a perfect example of how the world is set up, right? Like, these two mega corporations are being just petty bitches to each other, just messy, right? And the only people that are going to really suffer are the ones that just have nothing to do with it. Like, it's you gotta laugh to keep from crying.
So in much less funny news, Ubisoft is at it again. Dumb fucking idiots. So there's this new game that's coming that they've talked about before called Tom Clancy's. I think the game's out actually already. Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, sort of a PlayStation All-Stars of the Tom Clancy video game universe. In some ways, like, it's a very light game. So there's a group in the game called Umbra, and it's basically like it's called in the game a faceless organization that wants to build a new world order that's organizing deadly terrorist attacks to generate more chaos and weaken governments. Now,
was this written by Stephen Miller? Like, he hit all the buzzwords.
Here's the problem, though, is that Umbra's logo, their symbol, was the raised black fist. The raised black fist that's been a symbol of like black power movements since the 60s.
Yo,
it's literally part of the logo for Black on Black Cinema, a podcast on this network.
It is like okay. One, what is wrong with the French? You tell me. Your people are from over there, which is close to them.
People are not from France.
No. It's close to them. It's closer to them.
It's on the same continent, but that's about it.
Hey, look. I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with the French, right? Like, this company in particular, man. It is just they keep.
It's like asking me, like, what is wrong with Oklahomans, Brad? How do you talk about what's going on with Oklahomans?
Like,
in fact, so.
Like, I don't know where to begin, right? Like you said, the black power fist, like, that particular image is so ubiquitous. You type in power fist, like, it's there, right? Like, you don't even have to.
Literally one Google search could have probably eliminated this entire situation.
They can't be so out of touch as to what is going on in the world right now that they use that symbol. Like, come on, man.
What's happening in the United States for the past 3 months and longer, but especially in the past 3 months?
Like, I don't understand what is wrong with this company, yo. I don't understand it. Everyone knows that raised fist is good, raised hand is not, right? Like angled palm bad, raised fist good, raised hand, like, if you're in school and you have a question, okay. Like, that's the sign language, right? I don't. Wow, dude. Like, it's really turning me off of Ubisoft. Like, there was a run where Ubisoft was like, they could do no wrong for me, right? Like, I was like, wow, they're really good. Like, they've surpassed EA as the second, third party developer that I like, right? Like, but everything that I hear about them is just really turning me off, yo.
Well, and here's the thing. So it's not like they're unaware, because here's the statement that they gave on YouTube when people were like, when videos were posted, like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? He said the raised fist logo was chosen because, quote, it is a universal symbol of resistance, and any resemblance to images associated with the Black Lives Matter movement is coincidental. But this is the evil organization in your video game. Like it's like the way it's described, it's the specter of this gaming world. Spectre's not a resistance organization.
They're a terrorist organization.
It's literally in the name. It's one of the letters. I'm just like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Bro, a faceless faceless. There's a buzzword, organization spelled with an S because Europe. New World Order. That nothing positive comes from the words New World Order,
except for a wrestling renaissance in the late 90s. That's the only
right. And look what happened to that. Come on, man. This is beyond irresponsible, man. Like I'm laughing, but I'm actually kind of mad, man.
I was legitimately angry when I saw this. Like it's an amazing amount of ignorance from a giant corporation that does not have that excuse.
Right.
And I get that, especially in France, I'd imagine the racial makeup of the development team for Elite Squad is probably not very diverse, or at least doesn't have a lot of black faces on it, I would imagine. So in that respect, yes. But again, like if you're going to use a symbol that you acknowledge is a well-recognized symbol across the world in real-world events, wouldn't you, I don't know, take 5 seconds to see different causes that symbol has been associated with before you decide to label it on your villainous organization in your video game? And how fucking hard is that?
And here's the thing, right? Like, I don't give them a pass. This isn't ignorance. This is Ubisoft doing what Ubisoft always does, right? This is Ubisoft making a overtly political game, but not calling it political, right? Like, but they're too scared to call it, oh, well, there's no politics here. There's no politics here. Like, yes, there is, dude. This new Far Cry game is a political game, dude. Like, you're taking down dictator Esposito. Like, it's a political game. The Division is a political game. Quite frankly, it is a conservative's wet dream. But our game isn't political, even though it talks about terrorists overtaking the capital of America and the citizenry who are all armed because Second Amendment have to rise up and destroy the terrorists that are invading America. But no, it's not political. Fuck you, yo. And then this shit is like, this hits me harder because they're using the Black Power fist to one, they're whoring out the Black Power fist to hawk a video game, dude. Like, I was looking at the Avengers War Table. They were going to introduce, like, show clips of Black Panther, but they were like, yo, Chadwick Boseman just died, so we're gonna alter our presentation out of respect for him. Now, the fact that they felt the need to tell everybody that was a little weird, but they decided, you know what, this might not be a good look to pimp Black Panther right when the guy who played him in the movie tragically died, right? It's not a good look. Ubisoft is always doing this shit, and it's fucking pissing me off now, man. Like, real struggle is taking place, and for you to just co-opt this symbol that means something very important to a lot of people to hawk your shitty video game, yo. Like, I can't, man. I can't. This is another instance of people just shitting on Black people for no fucking reason. And, you know, I don't think I'm being hyperbolic when I say that. Like, you're taking something very serious, you know, and it's just get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And again, like the thing that infuriated me more is not only that it happened, but they're like, yeah, we made a conscious decision to do that. And it's just like, I just don't understand how you can, especially in the times that we live in now, where shit is fucking going off, and you're not going to just literally cross your T's and dot your I's. That's all you had to do was search for 2 seconds, have someone there to fucking say, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea to use this particular symbol at this particular moment for our villain organization. Why don't we design something similar but not the same?
Your logo could literally be anything. It could literally be anything. Are you so out of ideas that you have to co-opt real world imagery for your fake video game? Yo, it's this shit is irresponsible, yo. And they fuck Ubisoft, man. God damn.
So symbol was removed as of today on Android for Elite Squad, and iOS has to go through a certification process. So if you're playing on iPhone, it's still very much present in the game. Just I mean, and again, like, as much negative press as Ubisoft has rightfully been receiving for the past several weeks because of they're having to answer for hiring serial harassers and abusers in executive positions in their team, wouldn't you think that you'd want to just avoid, like the plague, any unforced errors that you'd be committing on yourself?
You would think so.
Again, I do not understand where their heads are at.
There's a certain ego that comes out of that company, man. That I don't know if it's the culture over there. I've been to France. It's a lovely place. I've been to Paris. It's a lovely place. Most of the people there are really nice. I'll never forget an exchange that this one guy had. That we were at a bar. I was talking to this guy. It was like, we were talking about race and stuff like that. I said, yeah, America's not really. It hasn't really gotten over the racial issues, and I don't think it ever will. And the guy was like, oh yeah, man, we over in France, we love everybody, man. We love black people. We don't have those issues, except if you're Muslim. What the fuck? Yo, huh? Like, did you hear what you just said? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm getting real mad at Ubisoft, man.
It's just, I don't know. And like I said, I feel bad ragging on the French, and I'm not comfortable with the borderline line stepping xenophobia that comes along with that. But it seems uncoincidental that the arguably two highest profile French developers both have insanely problematic cultures.
Yep.
Between Ubisoft and Quantic Dream.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just calling it like I see it.
God damn.
So Ubisoft also brought some news on one of their support pages that according to them, PS5 will not be backwards compatible behind PlayStation 4. So basically PS1, 2, or 3 games will not be playable on the platform. Then they deleted the post without any explanation. So I don't know if they said something they weren't supposed to, or if they were factually inaccurate. I don't also think this means that downloadable PS3, PS2, and PS1 titles wouldn't be playable on PS5. I can't imagine that there's any reason why they couldn't be.
Yeah, I really don't want people to get upset about this. Mm-hmm. If you are that much of a video game fan and collector, you already have the consoles that you can play your old games on. Right. So, I don't hear anybody talking about, man, I really wish I could play that PS2 game again that doesn't already have a PS2.
Or damn. Like if it's that, if it's that high profile game, they probably ported it. And right. If it's a under the radar game, you probably own a PlayStation 2 if you own it.
Right. So I really better not hear anybody complain about backwards compatibility beyond the last generation.
Finally, a story that I guess could really go either way, depending on how you view your video games. Starting Tuesday in Animal Crossing, players will be able to download official Joe Biden and Kamala Harris campaign yard signs to decorate their island with. So there is a basically there's like a QR code that you can scan in the Nintendo Switch online app, and if you scan that code by going to the Joe Biden website, you can download these signs and put them in on your Animal Crossing island. There's some people that are gonna be really upset about this, and I don't just mean because of if they're like Trump supporters, because obviously they'll be upset about it for that reason. But there's gonna be some people that just don't want politics in their video games in this way, and I understand that. But like we say on this show, you can't just avoid politics because it's convenient. I understand wanting to have escapist areas to not be confronted with that, but not only do I not have a problem with this, it's quite ingenious by the by the Biden-Harris campaign.
It is, but I got to imagine that anyone playing Animal Crossing, like, you're preaching to the choir, right?
Right. Most people, I would assume.
Yeah. I don't know what how the rules of equal time work. I think it's just only with news organizations,
networks, and news organizations. Yeah, that has nothing to do with Animal Crossing. Trust.
Okay, well, hey,
Japanese video corporations or video game corporations are exempt from the equal time doctrines. So.
Hey, this is much better than Pokemon Go to the polls.
That's true. So. We've come a long way in 4 years. You are 100% correct about that. And look, if the Trump campaign really wants to make fucking Animal Crossing yard signs, there's nothing stopping them from doing that, except for the fact that they're not smart enough to do such a thing.
Yo, I want to see the person who is a Trump supporter playing Animal Crossing.
I can't imagine the level of griefing that people could possibly visit upon. But then again, I don't think randos can just visit your island. I think you have to invite people in.
Okay.
So boy, I'm assuming you wouldn't invite in anyone that would cause mischief.
That would be something if you just like got invited to this island and then it's like, whoa, bro, what, huh? What is all this? I think you've been hacked, huh? No, I haven't. You have to have some hard conversations over Animal Crossing.
So, but this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool thing, and again, it's always fun to see old institutions embracing the technology and the culture of our generation, and older than our generation. So,
yeah, this is cool. You know what else is cool? If you would go to the 23rd letter of the alphabet, the 23rd letter of the alphabet, the 23rd letter of the alphabet, .densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases. When you go to the 23rd letter of the alphabet, the 23rd letter of the alphabet, the 23rd letter of the alphabet, .densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases, you help out the show at no additional cost to you. Go to the 23rd letter of the alphabet, the 23rd letter of the alphabet, the 23rd letter of the alphabet, .densepixels.com/Amazon.
If anyone ever tells you that Micah is not the pettiest person walking the planet Earth, they are lying to you.
I'm a Cancer, man. I take shit way too personally. I take it way too personally.
Oh my god, what an amazing I can't wait to see what you have next week. So our big news story this week, Gamescom happened virtually over the weekend, and we had, I guess, the closest thing to like a broad E3 style presentation with Geoff Keighley presenting Opening Night live, streaming it quite literally live during that's what day was it? It was Friday afternoon, I think. I can't remember what day it was.
Yeah, I think so.
But they showed a bunch of trailers. We're going to talk about a few of them. We have to start with what I would imagine that Micah was the most interested in of all the things they showed during this presentation, and that is a behind-the-scenes look at one Dragon Age 4, currently in development.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's just to kind of get you hype.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me want to go back and play Dragon Age, especially because I haven't played it in a long time. But I like the way they're talking about how they want characters to be like like loved or hated, right? Like they want to elicit very, very strong emotions from characters, which is something that I feel, as much as I enjoyed Inquisition, I feel that it was lacking a bit until the end. Like that first Dragon Age had a perfect cast, man. Like you either loved or you hated Morgan, right? Like you, like Alistair was your boy or you just couldn't stand him, right? And I I miss that. Like that is the interpersonal relationships are the thing that make BioWare games. So that is what I'm looking forward to.
It doesn't hurt that Dragon Age has a banger of a theme, not talked about
Yeah.
as much as
Yeah.
it really should, but it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
They're adding Star Wars content to Sims 4, the crossover that we all should have seen coming, but yet still managed to sneak up on everyone.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's coming September 8th, so right around the corner if you're a Sims 4 fan, called Journey to Batuu. Fall Guys showed off their second season. It's coming out in October. It's going to be medieval themed, so there's going to be knights and dragon costumes and all sorts of games and settings that are themed after medieval things. That's a cool way to shake up the that universe a little bit, is to have each season have a theme associated with it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. We talked about the Call of Duty trailer already. They showed the single player preview for Star Wars Squadrons, which I gotta be honest, of all the reasons to be excited about Star Wars Squadrons, I feel like the single player pretty low on the list. Like that is a multiplayer game, to be sure.
Yeah, it didn't even register to me that this game would have a single player component to it.
Yeah.
Like I just always assumed it would be like a, I mean, I guess I should have known, but like when I look at the everything on it, it's just like, okay, well, this is very obviously like a dogfighting game. And when you think of a dogfighting game, you think multiplayer.
We saw another trailer for 12 Minutes, which is an indie game that was first shown off during Microsoft's E3 event last year, where a guy is trapped in a 12-minute time loop where people break in and like tie up and kidnap his girlfriend and shit. It looks kind of wild. But it's going to have a pretty impressive voice cast with Willem Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, and James McAvoy.
I'm really looking forward to this game. It's something different, which I think I need right now. Mm-hmm. And the cast looks amazing. The premise looks incredibly interesting. So yeah, I can't wait for this game.
There are very few games that exist that make me wish that I had an Xbox, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
That's as much praise as I can give that game.
I mean, that is very high praise. You've received Xboxes for free, and it's just like, I don't really need this.
I literally got an Xbox One X for free, and my immediate thought was, I can give this to Terrence. I don't even think he uses the damn thing anymore.
I don't think so.
So they showed the Ratchet and Clank trailer. People were losing their fucking minds over the Ratchet and Clank trailer. It's the same gameplay trailer they showed during the PlayStation State of Play event, which I lost my mind during then, but they didn't show anything new in this trailer.
Hey, that's how much people really want this game.
But again, like I said, of any game that I've seen, it is the best example of the leap to next generation that I've seen displayed so far.
This game has a lot going on, and it looks beautiful. Yeah, I the character action platformer has been gone for a while, but like this series just won't die, and for good reason. Like it's excellent.
Ratchet and Clank, in my mind, and I guess calling it underrated is a bit of a misnomer because they keep making them, so obviously it's successful. But I feel like in terms of the recognition of great games, I feel like that Ratchet and Clank does not get its due. It's solid play, great writing, very funny, always looks great.
I know what you mean in a sense, because it's like when you think character action platformer, like for some dumb reason, like Jack and Daxter and Bubsy and all those other like B and C listers come to mind. But Ratchet and Clank doesn't come to mind. It isn't like immediately top of mind. And I don't know why, because almost every game is great.
I mean, Crash Bandicoot went away for fuck ever and still gets more nostalgia goo eyes than Ratchet and Clank does.
And Crash Bandicoot sucks, yo. Like it really does. Like everything about it, right? Like the design is very like late 90s and it's not funny, and the actual gameplay, come on, man. Like I don't see a Crash Bandicoot movie. They made a goddamn Ratchet and Clank movie, man.
With fucking Sly Stallone.
Right. Like come on, man. So yeah, this game looks amazing.
They're coming out with a Medal of Honor VR game that's being helmed by Respawn, which is, for my money, the only interesting fact about the Medal of Honor VR game that's coming out. They showed the first trailer for the story expansion coming out for Doom Eternal this fall on October 20th. It's called The Ancient Gods Part 1. If you like Doom Eternal, I'd imagine that you're going to be plenty pleased with this when it comes out later on.
All of you people who follow the Doom story.
All the Doom story, they just want new arenas to run and shoot monsters with incredibly large weapons.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's all that Doom players really want, and with good reason. They're coming out with a Walking Dead version of Bridge Constructor, which is a mashup that people did not see coming, I would say. So that's coming out later this year on every console that you could imagine. They had like a 15-minute showcase of World of Warcraft Shadowlands, where they showed like the story trailer for the game, talked about some of the things in the world. I don't know who you're marketing that to, because I gotta feel like that if you're still playing, like the people that are going to get Shadowlands already knew they were going to get Shadowlands when the last World of Warcraft expansion came out. You know what I mean? Like how many new players are you really pulling into WoW nowadays?
Yeah. But hey, I guess to get to make sure that the diehards are going to like stay hype. I don't know. World of Warcraft's been around forever, man.
It really has. 2005 or 2004, I think, is when it released.
Jesus.
Which is a really damn long time ago. Really fucking long time ago. So those were arguably the biggest announcements. There was a lot more, like they had Christopher Lloyd show up as Doc Brown during the event, and people got really excited that they were going to announce like a Back to the Future game, and he was there to pimp Surgeon Simulator 2, which made me fucking laugh. Love roping open people in that way. I'm trying to
not that kind of doctor, dude.
You're right. Doesn't make a lot of sense that they had Christopher Lloyd come out with the Doc Brown getup. But yeah, that's like I said, that's pretty much all the big stuff. There were some other small things here or there. A lot of it's escaping my mind. What did you think about the overall presentation being sort of a hybrid of the prepackaged presentations we've been getting for the past several months and a live event in some ways?
I thought it was pretty good. The one thing that this era that we live in now has done is it's really made people like, it's forced people to alter how they do things and how they present, their wares to us. And I dig the more like pre-produced, like little snippets of information, right? Like I don't like I don't like big info dumps. And I don't like the back in the day when we could go outside, and there was the E3 presentations, and there would be like an hour or an hour and a half or whatever. Sometimes there would be lulls, and sometimes it's like, come on, man, like let's just get to the good stuff. And now we don't really have that. We because they know people's attention spans they're not going to sit in front of their computer screen for an hour and a half, right? Like, yeah, we got to get this information out there. So I hope that this becomes the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
And that would really help me out. But yeah, I'm digging it.
It's going to be difficult to deny returning to having an audience, I feel like, because I think they like those moments where they can get the crowd like fucking whipped into a.
Of course, right. Everybody likes to hear a pop, right?
But plays well. But I agree with you. I think this ad hoc method of delivering these presentations on your time and not necessarily conforming to an industry standard event is much better for the consumer of these events. That way I don't have to take a week off of work to watch to watch all the E3 stuff. I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely a well put together production. And whenever stuff like this happens, especially in this new setting where everything's being forced to be delivered digitally, the fact that the production didn't have any major hiccups, I think, is also a huge achievement as well, and they deserve a lot of credit for that too. But yeah, so I thought it was a pretty good presentation, and there was a little something for everybody. I thought the games lineup was quite varied, between like big budget stuff and more independent stuff, and even again a lot of niche titles. We talked niche in that they have like core communities. We talked about World of Warcraft. They talked about a new Warhammer game that's coming to Nintendo Switch. They're remaking Age of Empires 3 again for some reason. But that has a huge fan base as well. They did show off the new Beyond Light trailer for Destiny 2, which Bungie showed a more expanded view of course, later, which is what I tuned in for. But, they still showed the basic one here to show off the new stasis powers in the game, the new element that you can attack with, which folks are getting pretty excited about in the Destiny community as well. So, yeah, it was a good mix of titles. And I thought it went off pretty well. I was a little underwhelmed by the rest of the content that came from Gamescom this weekend. I tuned in for a lot of it, and it just didn't have the same, the same like professional like structure as like E3 typically does, which is one thing that I kind of miss a little bit. Like the Gamescom stuff from this weekend was a little bit more freewheeling, not as tight. And so I do hope that they are able to kind of craft those presentations to have a little bit more of a cohesive message. Like one of the things they showed, I can't remember if this was Gamescom or pre-Gamescom, but there was this like 2-hour long look at Baldur's Gate 3, which is a game that I'm semi-interested in, but I'm not going to sit there for 2 fucking hours to, watch the minutia of Baldur's Gate 3 that you're going to announce. You know what I mean? Like I'm, as someone who is curious about that game, that's a lot to digest. And if you're like a Baldur's Gate super fan, I'm sure that was a great presentation for you. But for me, someone who's interested but doesn't know much about the series, it's a lot of information to take in. So like I said, just tighten that shit up a little bit. Because again, these are supposed to be marketing showcases. They're supposed to get people hyped for these games that are coming out. And that's what your job is. So, but overall, thought it was pretty good. As usual, Geoff Keighley, just like I said, we like to tease that dude, but he deserves all the credit that he gets.
Yeah, he's the real deal when it comes. He knows what he's doing, and he's been doing it so long. I will watch a Jeff Keighley interview 10 times out of 10 because he's just like, so, because they're always awkward and aggressive. Like, so, when's the game coming out? It's coming out.
He was. Oh my God, you love it. I can't. Oh my God, I can't remember what. I think it was during the Baldur's Gate presentation. He was trying so hard to wrangle his face out of these dudes. And like, once they made it very clear that they weren't giving him anything, he still just like jokingly like would ask the question. Yeah, he's like, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. He's such a Jeff Keighley. Micah, would it shock you to know that Jeff Keighley is, I think, 1 year older than you?
No, it would have shocked me a couple of years ago because I didn't, back when I didn't know. But I remember reading that he's been covering video games since he was like 14 years old.
Yeah, literally, I think he was. I think he might have been 16 when he first did that like Half-Life.
Yeah.
Thing, or was it Half-Life or Doom? I can't remember. He had like a documentary, for a very high profile PC shooter back when, and he was young as shit when he made that documentary. I think it would have had to been Half-Life. I don't feel like going back and doing the research right now because our show has come to an end. So thank you guys very much for watching and listening. We will be back with the post office next week. You can answer questions by going to denspixels.com/fans on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/denspixels. Ring the bell icon. I have started streaming again. I'm trying to stream every Wednesday and Saturday nights for a couple hours, and then whenever I feel like it here and there. So you can check me out on Twitch at denspixelsbrad. Carrie has taken to doing Monster Hunter Mondays. So she's streaming on Monday nights playing Monster Hunter World. And also invariably, randomly throughout the week as well. So you can catch her out at Summits Carrie. Terrence is still streaming here or there at Apparition410. And again, all of us you can find on Twitch as well. So that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll see you all next week.
See you.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.